Neeraj started something very interesting. And then he said, Lakshmi, let's do something together. I met Neeraj when he was with Egon Sander, where he was placing people left, right, and center. Of course, never asked me if I wanted to do any job, but other than that, been supremely successful. And then he quit well over the age of 50 and decides to be an entrepreneur. So tell us, Neeraj, what did you start?
Oh, thank you. By the way, this is the first time I've been mic'd up, so thank you. And it's brown.
Yes.
And it's brown.
The mic is brown. We talked about that
yesterday. So we started a company called Wisdom Circle. For those of you who don't know, please do check it out, wisdomcircle.com. We are trying to create meaningful part-time opportunities for people post-retirement.
Post-retirement age.
Post-retirement age, thank you.
They may not have retired. They may never retire.
By the way, correct. So the hashtag we use is retiring retirement. It's actually saying, enough is enough. This whole thing about retirement needs to be reframed. And therefore, and by the way, the reason we call it Wisdom Circle is because we did a lot of surveys, and old people do not want to be called old. Just for those who are not yet old. They don't want to be called silver, they don't want to be called grey, they don't want to be called aging. So we decided we're going to call them wise, and hence Wisdom Circle. In fact, we've created a new acronym, we call it the Wisdom Generation, where all of us are going to go through, including all the young people in the room. At some point, you all will get there, right? So therefore, we call this group WizGen, which is sort of our own internal, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So he created Wisdom Circle, and actually when I moved to Bangalore, he was the first person we met because he was occupying a house that we were going to rent. So we went and started talking to him. And but this is amazing how friendships start, and that was 20 years ago, and we still remain friends. And when he started this, we started talking. I told him about this list I wrote, and then he said, "Why don't you call it 58 over 58 instead of 50 over 50? Because in the private sector, 58 is supposed to be the retirement age." I'm like willing to write about anything, right? So I'm like, yeah, let's call it 58 over 58.
No, but there's a story, no?
Yeah, and then, now you tell the story.
So the story is, everywhere you go, you see 30 under 30, 40 under 40, everybody's publishing it. So this 58 over 58 is a pun against 30 under 30 and 40 under 40.
Yeah.
It is just, and by the way, we deliberately picked 58 because we didn't want to pick 60. Because the moment you pick 60, then we are another 30 or 40 or 50, right? And 58, as all of you know, is the age at which you can withdraw your provident fund in India. It's no matter what the retirement age, 58, for those of us who are on this side of 50, understand what 58 means. So therefore, it's not for everyone. For those who don't get it, you will someday.
Yes.
But for those who get it, you get it.
And being the marketing people we are, we said,
58.
Nobody had done this in the world.
But
I don't think there is anything like this in the world. Let's do something because we're all going to live to be 90. Nobody is going to retire at 58. So we are all going to be working for a long time. So why do we have this concept of retirement? So for the first time in this world, we are launching 58 over 58.
58 over 58.
And we collected the... So I wrote to a bunch of my friends. Some are scientists, artists, designers. Who do you like? Who do you think is really good in your field? I was collecting all of that. He was giving names. This all came within 2 months, less than 2 months. We just said we got to do it in time for the conference. So I wrote off to everybody because obviously I don't know everyone. So I wrote off to everybody and I nominated 4 or 5 people I know. So I'll tell you a funny story that happened. So I nominated this pair of sisters that I've known pretty much all my life. And they are the coolest sisters I know because one's like a super scientist. The other one is discovered the word entrepreneur, Vijaya and Sumati. So I was like, I know 2 women who are really cool and I nominated them. Then my scientist friends gave their names, my design friends gave their names. When I finalized all the things, it turns out the people from the design nominated Vijaya's husband and the people from science nominated Sumati's husband. So it was like very different people. So we actually have many couples in this just because they came from very different places. So we had so much fun doing this. Even literally in the last 2 months, we have put this together and we called on people we know, called on people we know. And so it's a very collective effort. And his team and my team had the ultimate authority on who the final 58 were. We just kind of submitted and they picked. So this is truly a collaborative effort. So with that, it's very
By the way, I'll tell you a couple of things that were surprising for us. Most people who were over the age of 58, when we, reached out, some said, "I don't want to tell anybody I'm 58," right? So that happened. It happened more with men than it happened with women. Imagine, right? The women were all proud, saying, "हाँ, हम 58 हो गए हैं." Men were like, and there is one person in the room, that person may want to raise his hand, who said, like, "I don't want to be called 58, but he still had to come." But anyway, so that's the story.
we would like, so we have chosen 58, but obviously all 58 couldn't be here because some of them are not from this city and all that stuff. So I would love all our 58 over 58 to stand and come onto the stage.